Welcome students. This is Winter 2018 numerical of Rashtrasant Tukdoji Maharaj Nagpur University, and it looks complex but it is not that complex. A frame, a portal frame with end A fixed, end B a free end D fixed, end C a fixed end, a free end, and end E as hinged end. It is loaded like this. This is loaded with 50 kilonewton load. This is loaded with 10 kilonewton load. This is loaded with uniformly distributed load of 20 kilonewton per meter, and this is also loaded with 50 kilonewton load. EI, that is flexural rigidity, is given as constant, fortunately, and the lengths is 2 meters and 2 meters. BC length is 4 meter. This is 2 meter and 1 meter, and again this is 2 meter and 1 meter. So it looks very complex numerical if we see it prima facie, but it is very simple if we analyze this in direct stiffness method. So this is Winter 18 numerical. It was for 13 marks. Analyze the frame and find the end member forces using stiffness method, and neglect axial deformation. That was the word used, which give us an idea that we have to analyze it using direct stiffness method. If at all we want to neglect axial deformations, there is no other option but to use direct stiffness method, because in our matrix stiffness method, our frame element stiffness matrix contains the coordinates for axial deformation, that is AE by L 0 0 minus AE by L 0 0. This is nothing but axial deformation. So the first step in analysis of the frame is degree of kinematic indeterminacy. Now friends, look at this frame. What is the degree of kinematic indeterminacy? We'll think of one by one. We'll first think of A. Degree of kinematic indeterminacy at A is 0 because it is fixed. At B, degree of kinematic indeterminacy, degree of freedom is 2, 1, 2 and 3. Degree of freedom is 3. At C, it is also free joint. Degree of freedom is 3 again. At E, degree of freedom is 1. At D, degree of freedom is 0. This is nothing but degree of freedom. But my friends, let us talk about degree of kinematic indeterminacy. This means possible degree of freedom. Now, if we neglect the axial deformation of AB is not possible, so this degree of freedom is neglected. Axial deformation of CD column is not possible, so this degree of freedom is neglected. Now look at this. Since E is hinged, E cannot move to the right in x direction, therefore C also cannot move to the right in x direction, therefore B also cannot move to the right in x direction. So these two degree of freedoms are neglected. These two degree of freedoms are neglected by taking into consideration that there is no axial deformation and E is not going to move towards right. So C will also not move towards right and B will also not move towards right. So what is degree of kinematic indeterminacy? I can find degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 3, and what is that? One is rotation at B, theta B, one is rotation at C, theta C, and other is rotation at E. So degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 3. I will number these as 1, 2, 3. 1 is theta B, 2 is theta C, and 3 is theta E. So if we neglect the axial deformation, we get degree of kinematic indeterminacy equal to 3, because the axial deformation of BC not possible, so this is cancelled, this is cancelled. Axial deformation of AB not possible, so this is cancelled. Axial deformation of CD is not possible, that's why this degree of freedom is cancelled. So degree of kinematic indeterminacy is 3, that is theta B, theta C, theta E. I have given the number theta B as 1, theta C as 2, and theta E as 3. Right? Now our next step is step 2 is fixed end moments. As usual practice, step 2 is fixed end moments. Now I am drawing the fixed end moment. I am looking the frame from inside. I am looking the frame from inside. Again I am showing this. The observer is inside the frame. This is the observer. It will look the frame from this side. It will look the frame from this side. It will look the frame from this side. And the observer will look at the frame from this side. Okay. So observer is inside the frame. Let us draw the diagram for AB. A is fixed, B is fixed, and the load is at center. The load is 50 kilonewton at center, 2 meters and 2 meters. So what is the formula? Formula is WL by 4. When the load is at center, formula is WL by 4, and using the formula I have calculated that it is 50 kilonewton meter, 50 kilonewton meter. WL by 4, using the formula I have calculated. So MF AB, fixed end moment AB, is equal to 50 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise, and MF BA is equal to 50 kilonewton meter clockwise. This is what we have seen. MF AB, the formula is WL by 4. When the load is acting at center for AB, the formula is WL by 4. So MF AB and MF BA are 50 and 50. Now for BC, again the length is 4 meters and the load is 20 kilonewton per meter. This is 4 meters, B and C. So the formula is WL square by 12. So it is 26.67. I have calculated it, kilonewton meter, 26.67 kilonewton meter. W is 20, L is 4, so 20 into 16 divided by WL square by 12 divided by 12, that is 26.67. So I can calculate MF BC, fixed end moment BC, is 26.67 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise, and MF CB is equal to 26.67 kilonewton meter clockwise. Purposefully I am writing clockwise and anti-clockwise without using the sign minus or plus. So this is about two fixed end moments. There are other members also which are loaded. So third member is CD. Now again I will look at the frame. I am looking at member CD from inside. I am looking at member CD from inside. So C will be on my left hand side, D will be on my right hand side. I am looking the frame from inside. I am looking the frame from inside. I am looking the frame from inside. So A will be on left hand side, B will be on right hand side. B will be on left hand side, C will be on right hand side. C will be on left hand side, D will be on right hand side. So I am looking the frame from inside. This is C, this is D. This is the load of 10 kilonewtons. If you remember, this is the load of 10 kilonewtons, which is acting at a distance of 2 meter and 1 meter. Now I know the formula. It is WAB square upon L square and WBA square upon L square. So according to the formula, I get 4.44 kilonewton meter, and this is 8.89 kilonewton meters. These two are the fixed end moments. So MFCD, fixed end moment CD, is 4.44 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise, and MFDC, fixed end moment DC, is 8.89 kilonewton meter clockwise. 4.44 and 8.89 kilonewton meters clockwise and anti-clockwise. Right? Now last is MFCE. Last is member CE. I am looking at the member CE like this. This is my member CE. This is my member CE. I am looking at the member. This is my member CE. I am looking at the member from this side. So 50 kilonewton, which is acting at a distance 2 meter and 1 meter. CE. Again the formula is same, WAB square upon L square, WBA square upon L square, and I got the moments as 11.11 kilonewton meters and 22.22 kilonewton meters as the moments. So I will write MFCE. Now C joint is connected. This C joint is connected by CB, CD and CE. So there will be three fixed end moments, MFCD. So three joints. So MFCE is 11.11 kilonewton meters anti-clockwise, and MFEC is equal to 22.22 kilonewton meters clockwise. So this is all we have found out fixed end moments. Now we are supposed to calculate those fixed end moments acting at coordinates. So I am again showing those fixed end moments on the structure. I am drawing the structure again, and I am showing those fixed end moments on the structure. I am not going to show any force. I am just going to show the fixed end moments acting at the structure. Now, what is my MFAB? MFAB was 50 anti-clockwise. So I am showing it 50 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise. MFBA is 50 clockwise. So I am showing 50 kilonewton meter clockwise. MFBC 26.67 anti-clockwise, and MFCB 26.67 kilonewton meter clockwise. I am showing these fixed end moments on the structure. Now, what is my MFCD? MFCD is 4.44 anti-clockwise. So I am showing 4.44 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise, and MFDC is 8.89 kilonewton meter clockwise. MFCE is 11.11 kilonewton meter anti-clockwise, and MFEC is 22.22 kilonewton meter clockwise. Now, where is my coordinate 1, coordinate 2, coordinate 3? If you remember, this is my coordinate 1, this is my coordinate 2. I have assumed all as anti-clockwise, and this is my coordinate 3. Theta B, theta C, and theta E are my coordinates 1, 2, 3. So what is the total fixed end moment at coordinate 1? At coordinate 1, the fixed end moment, so FEM1 at coordinate 1, what is the fixed end moment? This 50 and this is 26.67. Since coordinate 1 is anti-clockwise, I will take 26.67 clockwise, and I will take 50 negative. I will take 26.67 positive and 50 negative. Because 50 is clockwise and my assumed coordinate is anti-clockwise, I will take 50 negative, and I will take 26.67, which is acting in the direction of coordinate, as positive. So that is calculated as, minus 23.33. So FEM1 is minus 23.33. What is my FEM at coordinate 2? Now pay attention to coordinate 2. My coordinate 2 is anti-clockwise. So I will take all the anti-clockwise moments as positive. So this is the anti-clockwise moment, 11.11. This is also anti-clockwise moment, plus 4.44. And this is a clockwise moment, 26.67. So I will take minus 26.67. I hope I have made my point clear. Coordinate 2 is anti-clockwise. So I will take all the anti-clockwise forces as positive. So 11.11 fixed end moment anti-clockwise, 4.44 fixed end moment anti-clockwise, and this 26.67 acting at C is clockwise. That is why fixed end moment 2, I have calculated, added it, fixed end moment 2, 26.67, this comes out to be minus 11.11. Now, fixed end moment 3. Now look at, where is coordinate 3? This is my coordinate 3, theta E. It is anti-clockwise. So what is the moment acting at E? Fixed end moment acting at E. It is 22.22. Theta E assumed is anti-clockwise, but this moment is acting clockwise. So FEM element 3 is minus 22.22. Therefore, my FEM matrix for the structure, FEM structure is equal to, minus 23.33 minus 11.11 minus 22.22. I hope I have made my point clear. My FEM matrix, fixed end moment acting at coordinate 1, fixed end moment acting at coordinate 2, and fixed end moment acting at coordinate 3. Since I have assumed all my coordinates as anti-clockwise, I will take all the anti-clockwise fixed end moments as positive and clockwise fixed end moments as negative, and that is how I have considered for this joint C. There are 3 fixed end moments, one in the portion CB, one in the portion CD, and one in the portion CE. I have considered all this. This is plus because both are anti-clockwise. My assumed coordinate is anti-clockwise. This is minus because it is clockwise. And third is at E. My assumed coordinate is anti-clockwise, but the fixed end moment is clockwise. So my fixed end moment matrix is minus 23.33, minus 11.11 and minus 22.22. For next portion we will discuss how to find the stiffness matrix in our next discussion. Thank you.